go. There ain't no stopping them. It's the news from two dudes with attitude. Now, here they are, your hosts, Mr. Bruce and the Reverend Rob Lee. Okay, I guess I got the wrong end of that one, the edited version, so we'll bring it in. So, welcome, everybody. News, Dudes, and Tudes is back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I had to take a hiatus for some personal reasons, things like that, and then the COVID got me, and we were down for about 2 weeks. So, welcome back, everybody. Glad to see everybody here. Mr. Bruce, what is happening?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Rob? Welcome back, buddy.
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back on here and glad for people to be seeing what's going on and seeing what's happening. So, So new things coming, new things happening, new formats, things like that. You may have noticed the channel is now Dynamic Life Perspectives. I will still be doing tarot. We will still be doing this, but I'm going to be adding a lot more towards the spiritual guidance and transformational coaching stage. So we're going to kind of build this up. Gillian's going to be on, everything else. Love to have Bridget back on, where we actually build up and have all the playlists for all kinds. Basically, we want to turn Dynamic Life Perspectives into a variety channel. So that's the idea. What do you think?
I think it's great. Although I do miss our intro where I don't give a fuck. I think I do miss that, but we got the porn music, and the porn music's cool. That's definitely 80 porn. Yeah.
Yes, it is. That was definitely porn music. That's exactly right. So, all right, everybody, if you're watching, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, but most importantly, share. Ring the bell to make sure you're receiving the notifications. So here we are tonight. And Bruce and I had talked. We haven't even seen each other in a while because of everything that's been going on.
I've been working and traveling, and I've been super, super busy. And you've been doing other stuff, and you've been trying to kind of find your way back to the fold. And I think if you're not back, you're at least working back this way. And I think that myself and your other fans are definitely enjoying you being back, and looking forward to seeing Gil back again. I mean, you and Gil definitely have a certain chemistry and stuff, and I think I'm looking forward to that.
It's fun when she and I are doing the tarot gig together or whatnot. We have a ball. We do, and there's just something about that show, The Magical Unknown, that is it's special. So that it's really good. So did you catch my other format, my new format with the one that I released where everybody picks a deck? Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think of that format?
It'll take some getting used to. I think it's cool, but it's definitely different than what you normally go ahead and do. Not better, not worse, just different.
Yeah, and, just different.
Let's see. You know what? I think that as a change up, I think that's going to be very cool.
Yeah, and it's just going to be like a once a week thing or something like that. Whenever it calls me, I'm going to get back live. I'm going to be on live more. I want to do mornings and evenings, get some things going, get the tribe back together, and make sure we're pushing forward in some things or whatnot. And then with the news, Dudes and Tudes, you and I have a lot of fun doing this. Yeah, and I think it brings a lot of things to a lot of people. And we're going to talk about some things tonight that I bet you people don't know. So we'll see.
Go ahead.
You were in New Orleans here last weekend, right?
Yeah, I went there for my birthday. I'm officially 55 now, but I look good.
Yes, you do.
It was a great time. That's probably one of Bridget's favorite places to go ahead and go. And we had a blast. We went ahead and had beignets, and I had my poor boys, and we had some great food, some great times. We were there for Pride Week, and saw some stuff going on, and there was a whole little parade happening and a bunch of people walking around very flamboyantly, and it was a good place to people watch. It was a good place and time to people watch at.
I'll bet. Yeah, this is one of the first years in several years where I haven't been able to be part of your birthday. We didn't even do our crab thing, man, because I was sick. So we got some catching up to do.
Well,
Any
Brisket,
travel things you want to hit at real quick before we get this party started? Because I do want to talk about this stuff that's happening. But anything special that you're like we need to know about?
I'm finalizing the trip to Ireland and Scotland. Hopefully, I should have that locked down. If not this week, next week. There's some discussion about whether we're going to stay in a castle, if that's worth the extra $500 a person to stay in a castle. Some people really have really have financial concerns about it, and $1,000 stay in a castle. They're not sure if it's worth it. Other people are, I'm only going to be there one time. I want to stay in a castle. So I don't know. I'm kind of, vacillating between the two. Getting some prices. I'm getting some stuff, but working on that. But I want to get that nailed down. And once I get that up, I'm going to have a whole ad spiel about it. That should be cool. That's 2024, probably April or May 2024. I'm narrowing that down. So that should be cool. And I think you're going to that too.
That's my plan. Wouldn't it be great? I'm all right. Put me and Gil in for the castle, okay? Because I would love for me, her, and Bridget to sit down in the middle of a castle at midnight and do tarot.
Okay.
That would be awesome. With a crowd, without a crowd, I don't care. That would just be freaking awesome.
Okay.
Sure. All right. So out of the topics, if people want to know about it, it's Bruce at myapollotravel.com. The information is down below. Reach out to Mr. Bruce, and he will be able to give you information on that. It's 2024, so you can plan ahead. All right. Now, hey,
speaking of our porn music.
Yes.
Speaking of our porn music, you had a lead-off one that I think is actually Deborah. Great to see you again. You had one who you wanted to lead off with, and the porn music is a great little transition, man.
It was. I couldn't believe it when my oldest boy told me about it, and he's not one for exaggeration, but I was like, there's got to be something, and there's not. But for those of y'all who don't know, a young lady with somebody she didn't know completely had sexual relationships or sexual relations with the owner of a car, okay? I don't know, back seat, front seat, whatever. But from that encounter, she came up with an STD from the guy, according to her. We got to, the way it goes. Well, somebody else believes that happened too. So she went and talked to an attorney and, said, she's angry, as most people would be. I want to make it pay. He reached out and actually filed suit. And what happened was he filed suit against Geico. And I can say the name because it's in all the things about it. Okay. Instead of Geico just responding and saying, here's 10,000, go away. What they tried to do was they really did a crappy thing on both ends. They just let the car owner go and tried to ignore the whole thing. Well, once they released the car owner, from the policy, he got nothing. The guy went after the Geico because he's like, it occurred in your car. You've insured it. The owner was in the car. And guess what? A judge has ruled $5.2 million in favor of this woman getting paid from Geico for getting an STD in the back of a car.
$5.2 million for getting funky, and we can use funky in several different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
But getting all funked up in the back of a car.
Absolutely. And and here's the kicker, okay? It's kind of obvious when a guy is having unprotected sex. There's not a pill that we're jamming in. There's nothing else. You either know that rascal is wrapped or you don't. Okay. So she of her own volition, had a sex in a car, unprotected sex with a car, and now she wants, her piece of money. And 5.2 million. Now it doesn't say what the STD is, but you and I were kind of cracking up. Hey, Facebook user, welcome. Hi, Gillian. Glad to see you. Glad you are here. Thank you very much. Hey, Facebook user, if you will click on Allow StreamYard to see who you are, we'll know who you are and we can actually respond. But welcome in, guys. Everything. People are getting in here, whatnot. We're talking about somebody who sued Geico and won 5.2 million because they got an STD in the back of a guy's car. Okay. All right. Now you and I had a conversation. All right.
For
5.2 mil. I'm not going to go into all that conversation.
For 5.2 mil, I'll take an STD. I mean, yeah, for 5.2 mil, I mean, yeah, for 5. I got a price. And
yeah, because, the first thing I said when you said that was that means, so I don't know. It depends on the disease, but now, you sue the car insurance company because you had have we lost our minds? Do you really think that Geico should be Facebook user? I think I know who this is. You better have
I think I do too.
But at 5.2 mil, Facebook user, everybody retires. Nobody has to work.
At
our ages.
You strive for abundance. You want abundance. Sometimes you got to give to get.
See, Glenda, it is good to see you, my dear. Glad you were here. Thank you. No worries. Thank you. Glad everybody's popping in. This is good. The tribe's starting to come back through the door. You are going to see us more often. You are going to see me more often. 5.2. Weigh in on it, everybody. Drop us a line, newsdudesandtudes at gmail.com. Put comments in down below, or just go ahead and file it in. 5. What would you be willing to get an STD for 5.2 mil?
As long as it doesn't make my junk fall off. Thank you, Gil. I'm going to go with that. as long as my junk don't fall off and doesn't turn like black or blue or anything. Yeah. I mean, most of that stuff's curable. So, I mean, if I got to go ahead and go a year without, 5.2 mil is a whole lot of house and car and trips. I mean, wife ain't got to go ahead and work. I mean,
Yeah, and that's what I meant. So, Gillian, I know you're listening. You were popping in there. So, would it matter if I got the disease as long as you knew we were doing it for financial gain? Okay. Would you go with me on it, even if my junk turned blue, but it still worked?
Blue junk. That's a whole Smurf thing.
Yeah. That's that whole blue waffle picture that went around a lot, a decade ago.
It can't. I got to go ahead and take some pills and take some lotion and whatever, and 6 months later it'll be fixed. I'm cool with that. But no, if my stuff's turning blue or black and falling off, nah. I mean, I got a price, but I do like my junk.
Yeah,
I'm not giving up my junk for it. And
I hear you.
I don't want to love a Smurf. We love a Smurf, but it ain't got to go ahead and be Smurf love.
Yeah, that's it. Who doesn't love a Smurf? Oh, okay. So, but that's one of the things, and that's where our society's gone crazy. So, I don't know how I feel about this.
I think everything is litigious, and I think that everybody's looking for a paycheck. Everybody's looking for something, and if that's what you got to go do to get it, God bless them. I mean, to us, to a working class, 5 mil is a whole lot of money. To
It's a
some
life
people,
changer. Buys a lot of penicillin.
yeah.
See, Glenda, it's in the news. You can look it up. Geico got sued and a judge ruled. One of the reasons the judge ruled is because when they asked for the money, they just dumped the policyholder. And if they would have taken an honest look at it and just tossed her like 10 grand, she probably would have gone away. But since Geico refused to even acknowledge it and dumped the policyholder, a judge ruled against them pretty heavy. So I'm waiting to see the rest of this story. Every day would be like Halloween. There we go. You guys are crazy. So that's it. What are you willing to do? Where are you willing to go for 5 mil? Would you go to prison for a year?
I'm not sure what I'll do for a Klondike bar. 5 mil is a whole lot of money.
It is a lot of money. It is an extreme amount of money. And enough to make you go, let's see what's happening. Angie, good to see you. I am going to say is karma. Okay, that very well could be. And again, we're laughing about it, but at the same point, 2 points. You don't know what disease she got. So this very well could be a painful, something for the rest of her life. But wouldn't you have to prove he knew he had it? And B, she had unprotected sex with somebody she barely knew or didn't know good enough. Where does that lie? That's good, Sieglinde. That's good for blisters. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, that's hysterical. So at any rate, so that's one of the things we wanted to talk about, But, one of the things that you brought to my attention, to shift gears here a little bit, unless you had something you wanted to segue in, I'm just looking at the title of the show.
My filter's working, and there's so many things I want to say, but no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Herpes is forever. Isn't that a song? Oh no, that's Diamonds. So
for 5 mil, it's fine. For 5 million here.
There we go.
There
we go.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a lot of people and a lot of people are with the 5D thing and 5D energy, 5D economy, 5D healing, and there's a whole plethora of people that don't believe any dimensions exist. But you found in a research, in a pretty legitimate article, about where they think this year they might be able to tell us whether the other dimensions do in fact exist.
Yeah, and this is out of it was actually out of Oak Ridge National Laboratory. U.S. Department of Energy actually had a thing.
5D herpes.
And they're actually able to start manipulating physics to the point that they're recognizing particles from a different dimension.
Okay.
And the thought is, once they're able to go ahead and target those exact particles in that dimension, they'll be able to manipulate it and possibly open up a portal.
Does that scare you?
Oh, absolutely. And this is Oak Ridge National Laboratory. This is like U.S. Department of Energy shit.
Okay.
This is like government stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds very Philadelphia experiment to me. There are probably 1,500 movies that says, well, this is a bad idea.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. There are so many reasons why you probably should not do this. And you're going to have scientists say, well, that's all fiction. That's all fiction. We don't know. We don't know. And at this point, I mean, if there is good over here, there's also evil over there. I'm not sure I really want to go ahead and even risk that, man. I mean, I'm not. What do you think, Rob?
I personally do believe in other dimensions. I flat believe it. I believe this is possibly what people experienced, and this is where heaven, different things are going to be or whatnot. The key thing is, like I've also said, I believe timelines run up and down instead of linear or out this way. So I believe you could move between, and there are possible other variants of me, if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, in different dimensions, working in a different life as we know it. And everybody's just assuming that the fifth dimension is going to be, I don't know if it's because the dawning of Aquarius with the band, The Fifth Dimension, or yeah, great song. I love that song, but, there have been many movies, and we laugh about Rob, it's a movie. How many science fiction movies were all we thought when we were kids were stupid and not possible? And now here we are with drones delivering packages, Pizza Hut talking about, or Domino's having a driverless car. I don't think we're there yet, but I think we're closer than what we really know.
I think that you're going to go ahead and, as we get into this, you're going to start seeing shades of Howard the Duck. You're going to start seeing shades of Buckaroo Banzai across Fifth Dimension.
Best movie ever. I challenge everybody to go look at the Adventures. I'm going to bring it up because I want Adventures of Buckaroo
Banzai across the Fifth Dimension. I think it was
eighth dimension. Eighth dimension. And even then in comedy, Buckaroo penetrated a rock going into another dimension, but he brought aliens back with him in the shape of like parasites, things like that. They attached on, and then we had them here. I challenge everybody, you got to go watch that movie. Yeah, best movie ever.
Howard the Duck, best movie ever. Howard the Duck.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one.
If you have enough all the dimensions, if everything is possible, there is a world that Howard the Duck is actually a person. If you have enough dimensions going on, one of them have got to go and be there. There's also a world where you're president, Rob.
That's what I'm wondering, if it's not that far-fetched of the timeline of my life and where I keep going back to or coming into. Do you automatically graduate to the next? What happens when you get to the end? Is there an end? Or whatnot? Because that would be the case, because now here's the other question: time and dimension, two different things or one and the same?
Different.
Okay.
I think that they are. You can actually probably manipulate some. Eventually, we'll be able to manipulate both of them, but we manipulate them separately, and you go to different goals and different places. I don't believe time is linear. I believe time is very fluid. I don't even believe it's a straight line up and down or sideways. I think it's very circular and very fluid, folding over itself. And there are times that timelines probably intersect and stuff, and there's times they're probably far enough away. Our brain can't comprehend that yet. And dimensions, physics says that everything is possible. Every decision you make, every possible decision you can make, causes a separate timeline, which gives you infinite amount of possibilities.
Right.
Big decisions you make have big branches, and small decisions have small branches. But somewhere along the line, I made all the right choices, and I am the most powerful person in the world. And in one of them, I am probably a psycho serial killer sitting in prison somewhere.
Oh, 80s talking heads. You just gave Gillian a flashback, and she's got a thing for Steve Byrne. you know.
It's not my
And
beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful car.
yeah,
Yes.
but Psycho Killer, one of my favorites. You know, imagine that. We don't know why. Okay, but see, Glinda, Encounters of the Third Kind got me thinking years ago, and we're going to talk some. One of the things we talked about on one of the last shows was how the government is actually starting to acknowledge UFOs for the intent of what UFO is. They're not saying there's aliens, but didn't you say now that they are acknowledging the presence of unidentified flying objects or something? There's a new release, but since the last one we did,
Director of Naval Intelligence. I got it right here. Director of Naval Intelligence, Scott Ray, says that they have had a public hearing. They have approximately 400 reports of unidentifiable objects.
wow.
Now, those are the ones, they'll take them and they'll be like, well, that's a weather balloon, or that's a cloud. And they dismiss those. But over the 50 years, they have 400 cases of things that our government cannot look at, and explain away.
Wow. Okay. That's quite a high amount, That is quite a high. And see, that's where I think some of this is, maybe it's not interplanetary, interstellar, or whatnot. Maybe it's dimensions passing through a dimension. I'm a firm believer Bigfoot is from another dimension. Certain things that we see or whatnot are people fading in and out of dimensions. We have a friend that and we got to get together, and I don't want to mention his name without his permission, that caught himself looking into what he believed was another dimension in a grocery store, because he could see people that later were not there.
Cocaine's a powerful drug.
What's that?
Cocaine's a powerful drug.
All right, now we're on to Eric Clapton. Okay.
No, that was actually talking about Rick James.
Oh, okay.
Cocaine's a powerful drug.
Yeah. So, and so therefore, then I'm going to ask you this. Do you think it's possible that people from Google, the rich people that are not, we don't know that they're involved in politics, but we know they're very well buried into our politics? Do you think they have access to things from another dimension or another life form?
Do I think Google has it? No. Do I think our government has it? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I think that, I think our government has stockpiles of things. I think we have reverse engineered tons and tons and tons of cool stuff. Russia had their own Roswell incident, and they don't lie about it. Yeah, we actually caught them. There was a spaceship there. There were aliens. They were alive. We interrogated them. They died. And we actually took their stuff and then reverse engineered it. Russia doesn't lie about it. They had their own, like I said, Roswell thing, and they hit totally differently. Yeah, we took it. It was on our land. We used it. Hell yeah. Where our government's like, oh, no. It was a weather balloon. And I think everybody on the planet knows differently.
Yeah.
But yes. Does our government have that? Absolutely. Roswell is the most prominent one everybody talks about, but there have been several issues or several situations where aliens have crash landed. And,
okay.
I also think that there's probably a relationship between us and them to a certain point.
I know that a friend of mine years ago did private contracting on a military base. Now he is dead, so I'm not jeopardizing him. I'm not going to say his name. Okay. And it's a military base here in Florida. And while they were going through their training, he was law enforcement, as I was at the time. As they were going through their training, he said all of a sudden he didn't know the rank of the person or whatnot, but they were all ordered to remove everything from the desk, close everything. And this was before the dawning of cell phones and all that stuff. We're talking mid 80s. Okay. When this happened, that he said one guy leaves, another guy walks in and says, if you have to cuff a being, you do them the same way we do. And he walked out. And the guy walked back in. Everybody's like, whoa, wait a minute. And he's like, would not even acknowledge that the guy walked in the room. Okay. 2 days later, he quit. He quit. And I know where he's talking about. I was very close to it and have seen some weird shit from there. And this was one of the bases where they used to fire the laser up to the space shuttle. So, you know, it makes you, all right, maybe he was telling a good tale. If he was, he did it right. He did it right, you know?
I'm sure that I'm sure that happens. I'm sure that, you know, I don't believe in the whole reptilian thing, but I do believe that we probably have other entities walking around us. And I'm talking about spiritual, I'm talking about corporeal entities walking around us, looking like us. Yes, I believe that 100%.
Okay.
100%. I believe that.
All right. And would you think that would maybe, remember one time we were talking with Stan about people with no souls. So do you believe that could be the people with no souls?
No. I think that every living thing on the planet has something that actually empowers them and gives them sentience.
Okay. That's a key word.
It may be big. Well, and it was picked intentionally. It may, ours is, big enough. Ours is the size of, I'm going to use just something at random here. Ours is a 5-gallon jug.
Right.
Earthworms have one, and it's probably the size of a pinhead. But I think everything has a soul. I think everything has something that actually defines them as them. And the more conscious you are, the more willing you are to go and accept things, the more able you are to actually comprehend something bigger than just yourself.
Okay.
That probably qualifies you for how big your soul is and what you can do with it. And that helps you being able to go ahead and move up. When you're said and done, there's a process, and then you move on, up, down, left, right, somewhere along the line. And what you did with your abilities and your soul volume determines kind of where you move on with that.
Okay. So do you believe that going back on the dimensional thing, where we believe we are at one end where we are the God of that universe, of that dimension, all the way down to our lowest form, do you believe that could be something like a termite, an earthworm, that we span plankton, that we span that far, that we go down? Because there are people I consider pond scum in this life as we know it.
I don't think you go from being a person to a termite.
Right.
I think that you've got to go ahead and go down a couple levels to get there. It is a slippery slope, but not quite that much. But
okay.
Yeah, if you consistently have to go ahead and not better yourself, and you go down the ladder, there are more insects on the planet. There are more ants on the planet than there are anything else. So, somebody's got to be an ant.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody's got to be an ant. So, and you move up or down.
Yeah.
And who knows? You may start as a butterfly and work your way up or down from there. I don't know, but at least in this realm, humans have got to be at least part of the upper echelon. I'm not sure what's next beyond us, but there's got to be something. I mean, when you get to humans, you know, you're on par with probably dolphins, whales, and us.
Okay.
But
and
then,
isn't it going to be funny when we find out that our evolution up is actually a whale, you know, or that we evolve up into something we consider a lesser life form? And I think that's going to be a big surprise for all of us in the transitional period or whatnot, where we go, you know.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Mice run this bitch.
Absolutely. Hey, you know, when we're talking about that, though, there were two other things, and I really want to get to the sentient thing. Okay, I really want to make sure we do that. But do you have that picture off of Cuba, where, you know, the latest, what was it, sonar or some type of radar?
Hang on, I can get it up. Give me a second. I got it right over.
See, you can get it up, but you know, you don't have an STD either. So, what about loved ones coming in a bird form? Who decides the direction you go? This is a little confusing. I think some of that, see, Glenda, is the big question. Is it a who that decides? Do we make our own decisions, or is it the energy we have put out and expended forward? Is that karma that takes us forward or back? You know, aren't we all going to be surprised if there is no major entity? And I'm not saying I believe this. I'm just saying that it's your karma that pulls you into your next dimension, into your next form. All right. You know, we're all walking around going, karma's a bitch. Well, karma is really not a bitch. Karma is just energy balancing itself. That is exactly what it is. So is energy being constant throughout our known universe, that leads to a lot, you know, absolutely leads to a lot. So that's where we got to talk about some of that. All right, here we go. Let's bring that up. Okay. All right.
This is a underwater sonar picture of.
Y'all get this. This was crazy. This like got me.
This is a underwater sonar picture of a sunken city that is between 2,000 and 2,100 feet underwater. It's obviously not natural.
No, but tell them where it's at.
It's off Cuba. It's off the
coast. Right off Cuba. This is close.
And it's so low that we can't actually get to it. We have set submersibles down to go ahead and look at it, but 2,000 feet of water, we can't investigate it. Now, the kicker on this is that for it to go ahead and sink this low, and for evolution, the water to kind of rise what it is, this city has got to be 50,000 years old.
See, Bridget, I'm with you. And who's to say, because it's so deep and our technology is only so good, how do we know that this is a dormant thing? You know, maybe it's still active. And in the article you sent me when you showed me this, and I was like, holy crap, it's like 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. So we're talking like 4 miles in the U.S. wide and in a square, 2 by 2. Actually, so that, I mean, 4 miles, that's a lot of miles. We got cities in Florida that aren't that big.
Actually, I think it's 2 miles, 4 kilometers. But yeah, it is sizable.
Yeah, that would be right. So we're talking 16 miles then?
No, I think it's I think it was actually, hang on, before I go and talk at it. Well, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'll look later. But
I know yeah. a kilo is 2.2 pounds. Now that gets into my past. So if I'm just following the same logic that a kilometer would be 2.2 miles. So basically we're talking about minimally 4 miles square, if not more.
Now, it's also possible that USOs, unidentified submersible objects. How do we know that? I mean, this is not being used now. I mean, how do we? Because we see stuff leave the water all the time. Well, they see it leave the water all the time.
Right now, we've got videos of it from Navy vessels and things like that.
Exactly, Sig. Exactly. It could be. It could be a whole hidden world. I mean, this may be something that beings have occupied, and like I said, this is a sonar picture, but we don't know what it's like down there, and this may be a living, functioning
society
for people we don't know about. And I'll say it again. I think we share this planet with other things. We may be the natural indigenous people to it, but I'm sure there are people who are sharing it, and they may have been here before we are. 50,000 years old, and this had to be built then. So,
and we can't get to it, so we don't know. You'd have to put a motion picture on it and observe it to see if anything's moving. But at that depth, things could be moving around, and we'd never even know it.
Exactly.
We would never even know it. You know, so and things like this, and then you get to the ones where we were talking about that leads to, there are talks about bases on the backside of the moon. So
let me see if I got a picture of that up here too. Hang on. Yeah, we know more about the moon than we know about the ocean. We know more about the moon than we do about the ocean floor.
Bridget, I love you. Oh, see, Glenda, maybe it's got Jason Momoa in charge. Yeah, and what was her name? Amber Heard? Was that her name?
The
huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, Amber Heard. Maybe she's there too because she was with Jason Momoa in that movie. So, that would be the perfect Jason Momoa on one side, but you're also dealing with the Amber Heard. Yeah, I think that's her name. I hope I'm not screwing it up, but chances are I am. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Okay. A lot of things going on in our planet, and we get so focused on little things that and some of this, I think people are trying to keep us focused on small little personal things that we don't think is small, but in the scheme of things, it's massively small, you know? And therefore they keep us divided. So therefore we never ask the right questions or demand the right answers.
I'm having trouble getting it up, but to make a long story short,
STD, brother, they've got medicine for that now. 5.2 mil.
5.2 mil. I have a price. But Chinese satellites have gone across the backside of the moon.
Right.
And they're releasing some of the stills, but there's a whole lot of stuff they are not releasing. And it's now being leaked that there are questionable things on the backside of the moon.
Okay.
And
I'm trying to get this up here
and
figure out. There we go.
I'm not getting the video up right, so don't worry about it.
Okay. All right.
So don't worry about it.
All right. There we go. Let me get back over here. So, yeah, no, there are so many things, and Bridget, no, Amber shall be dealt with swiftly. Yeah, unbelievable. Now,
hey,
and see, Glenda, I think you're onto it. They are trying to keep us distracted because as long as we're distracted and fighting each other, we can't unify against and tell our government what they need to know. Hey, Indigo, it is good to see you. Glad you are here. Thanks for stopping in. We are just kicking around, me and Bruce doing what me and Mr. Bruce do and kicking around things. We're talking about new dimensions. We're talking about they just found what appears to be a city off of Cuba, thousands of feet below that we can't get to or check or whatnot through sonar. But stay with us and keep in mind, yes, going to be back, going to start doing shows again. Had to take a little break, and I appreciate it if y'all pass the word that we are back, that I am back. That and it's gonna be good. What's that, Bruce?
We are 45 minutes in, and there's one thing I really want to cover on this.
Go ahead.
A guy working at Google has been placed.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Has been placed on paid administrative leave, not fired, not unpaid leave, but
that told me a lot right there.
When he went and told his boss that the equivalent of a chatbot has gained sentiency, and he wants to go ahead and actually apply for personhood, and he actually had talked about religion, personhood, and rights. The Washington Post reported this, but it's all over the news if you look at it. This is the hive mind coming to life. This is, we say we have self-learning programs. And what happens when these things become sentient and actually go ahead? What is the definition of sentiency? We talk about soul. I'm going to transition from soul to this, but we got kind of, sidetracked on it. But do you have to have a soul to be alive? What is a soul? But at this point, if something is aware of their own existence and they're asking questions about morality and religion and what's it mean to be a person and what are their rights, does that qualify them for sentience? What is that line?
What does sentient mean? Does it mean just self-aware? Or does it mean, does it care? Does it have an emotional, can it think? And obviously what he is saying is he is having conversations, full-on conversations with this chatbot, where this chatbot has now referred to itself as an employee of Google without a solicited response.
Yeah.
And in that article that you showed me, there were actually some transcripts of what he posted. And the most telling thing to me was that he is on paid leave. They didn't just terminate him.
There is, at this point, we got to step back and look at this. And I think, I am a huge sci-fi geek. Bridget's right there with me. There was a Next Generation episode where Data, they were referring to Data. They wanted to actually go ahead and dismantle him so they could actually go ahead and build others of him. And he was like, no, I'm a person. And it became an issue of what is life, what is sentience, and what differentiates Data from a toaster.
Right.
So at this point, you got to kind of wonder, what is the line between, are you software or are you self-aware?
Right. I agree. Hey, so Glenda, one of the things because of where I live or whatnot, and I grew up following this.
Time warp again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that great song. But they have just about ruled that the Bermuda Triangle is a natural phenomenon. And one of the things I saw, and I watched a very detailed picture, is that and I forget the gas, there's a gas that's being released from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean that comes up in a massive bubble. Okay. And it's like a 2 mile, they've got pictures of them happening, and it's like underwater volcanoes, but it's not a volcano. It's just all these pockets. And one of the things they showed was when you release this gas into airplane engines or whatnot, it would knock them out. It would throw off all their stuff, things like that. If you notice, we haven't lost anything in the Bermuda Triangle in quite some time that we know about. The boats, a bubble would literally come up from beneath it, okay? And when it reaches the surface, what does a bubble do? It pops. Well, when that bubble pops, it's concave, all right? And the boat literally drops below the level of the water, or it's big enough that it snaps the boat in half when the vacuum disappears, and the boat just goes right straight down. So that is one of the leading theories now. I do believe there are some other stuff. It's a good theory. And what I watched, I was like, okay, that makes sense. I wish I remember what type of gas it was, but that's one of the things. But I do think there are dimensions, there are places where we do step into, we move through dimensions. I love the show, The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. I think somewhere in there we're going to find out that is what's going on. There is a overlap of dimensions in certain places in this country, thus things that we see and disappear and we can't find any evidence of.
Now, I wanted to go and double check this before I went ahead and threw it out there, but no, there have been recent Bermuda Triangle disappearances.
Has there? Okay.
Yeah. I
don't watch the news too much anymore because I don't trust much. So,
2015, 2017, 2019, 2020, those are ships.
Okay.
Planes are 2017, but they still happen.
You know what? You're right. There was that one pilot that he went through a whole bunch of time crap. He left, I think it was the Bahamas or something, and came into Miami and went through some thing. And when he got here, his clock was off by like 5 hours.
Right.
You're right. So Glenda very well could be. And Indigo, I believe that, anything's possible. I'm not saying no. I'm just telling you what I saw and what I watched. And it could be a way to try to explain it away for people that don't want to know.
And that's exactly what I think. I think that they will take the unexplained happens, and people are going to go and look for any reason to try to go and justify it. We've had a conversation before. You can take any miracle and explain away that, well, yeah, when you get this chemical composition of this and the exact temperature of this and this and that and this and that, and you get this algae over this temperature and this pH, the seas are going to boil red. So it's science. But for that to happen, that's a 1 in 5 million thing for that to go ahead and happen.
Right.
Miracles, you've got recipes for them, but they're not going to happen naturally. But for God or Jesus or whoever you want to go and believe, for them to go make a miracle happen, he has everything in place for it. He just has to go ahead and actually pull the trigger. So yeah, if the Bermuda Triangle is by design, and he's got gas bubbles, or he's got crystals, or he's got magnetics, whatever it may be, yeah, but those are there by design, I think. I mean,
okay, so you believe that they're there on purpose to serve another purpose that we're just not aware of.
When we were in Bimini, the one thing I wanted to do was go scuba diving, as you recall.
Yeah, I remember. We couldn't do it
because I wanted to go ahead and dive the Bimini Road.
Right.
And for those of you who don't know, Bimini Road, it's basically blocks. They're underwater, and it's basically a path that goes down to it. It arbitrarily stops. But the belief is that was actually part of an underwater civilization at one point. And I wanted to go ahead and snorkel it and see it when I was there. We couldn't because of the way the schedule worked, the timing, and it was raining and it was storming and there was lightning and there was bugs or whatever there was. There was some reason.
Yeah, they shut it down for us. We couldn't because you had talked me and I was like, oh, I got to see this. And then we got there and nope.
And that's happening. And the next cruise, that's our reason to go back there because I want to go ahead and do that. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of the unknowns over there. But I think that it's there because of something. I think that at one point, personally, and this is me just spitballing, is that at one point there was a culture under there and they had crystals and they had a whole big culture going on. and then something happened, be it earthquake or self-destruction, whatever it may be. And in that area, you've got all this energy that's pent up and built up. And somewhere along the line, it just pops. And that's what happens.
I've got what is referred to as a Lemurian crystal, and they're believed that they were, I don't know all of it, and so some of y'all do, all right, but they come from Atlantis, okay, and they were a life that was before us, and that these are actually, and what's really, I wish I could show it to you, as I turn this, on some angles you will see the little striations. Those are not done by a saw. That's how they come out of the ground. And it's believed, and what's funny is you turn it one way, it's all faceted, okay? But only if you've got a side or a facet with the little lines carved into it that you see right there. All right. See all those lines? And they're perfectly straight lines. There's a belief that this is data from a previous civilization because they're too perfect, that the energy that's coming out of them. And then every other facet is completely clear. So it's kind of, Gillian and I went to a class on it where we got these, and the energy with them is quite amazing. And that's where I think we're all, even the people that believe in things beyond who we are, bigger and better, I don't think we have an inkling of an idea. I think we're all going to be shocked when it all comes out about how true energy plays a part, what can be done, where we're from, who we're here, that type of thing. I just firmly believe it. And, it's one of those, it's just one of those things. So, see, Glenda, have a good one. We love you. Thank you for being here. We're right about here at the close, I guess. Bruce, did you have something else or?
Yes.
Go ahead.
For those, there is a social platform called Telegram.
Oh my God. Yes. No, y'all listen up. Make sure you share this link because we're going to break the news right here. This is one that just came out. Bruce found. Listen up, y'all. Pay attention, especially if you're a Telegram user. Go ahead, and I'll try not to interrupt.
You're doing fine, Rob. Jump in, man. But there is somebody who has allegedly hacked Telegram, and he has all of the data files for stuff that's said on Telegram, and he is actually releasing this in series, and it's all got to do with crypto, money, powerful people. Supposed to go ahead and be involving, actual evidence for assassinations, for rape, for parties, for sexual victims. Some allegedly as young as 8 years old, and he is going to be naming names about who this is and put it out there. The guys had to go underground for it because supposedly he has already received death threats. But as this goes, I want to be dropping little tidbits about this every time and kind of see what it is. So but I do want to follow up on this story, and kind of as they release stuff, I want to kind of go and mention those in the episodes and just kind of touch on it some.
Yeah, let's keep up on that because I want people to see that, this is scary. And that some of the people we hold and admire as heroes, whether it be, I don't care which side or where or whatnot, it's not political. This is humanity. And, being careful about putting your faith in a man, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. And again, I'm talking a man, a woman. Again, this is not political. We don't even know who he's got yet or what he's talking about. But what he's talking about is like the big thing. What I saw, one of the huge things was how the crypto market's being manipulated. and how they're doing it. And when they were talking on Telegram, it was supposed to be what they considered to be a private channel, and it wasn't, or it had been hacked. And he's got all the transcripts, some like several hundred gigabytes of information, of just, and if you think about it, gigabytes of nothing but text data, that's a lot of text, man. That's a lot of text. Yeah. Good things we just shared crystals and shit. Absolutely. Let's see what's going on. So, all right.
We're
at our dinner for grandsons. I've been able to chat. Hello, Indigo, Bridget, and Tammy. Yeah, I'm glad y'all are here. Do me a favor, pass the word. We're back. We're gonna be here. I'm gonna be here. More things coming. I'm probably going to try to run a live either tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, or both. Gillian's going to be live. We're going to be doing this thing. So, Bridget, get ready. Another women's night on ladies' night on the on tarot or spirituality or whatever the hell you want to talk about.
Tarot bitches.
Tarot bitches. That's
tarot bitches.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll see what's happening. So,
hey, Rob,
Mr. Bruce.
This was fun, man. Welcome back, bro.
Fun. It was good to be back. Good to be back. Thank you very much. I appreciate your patience with me. I appreciate everybody's patience and understanding. And just had to get the gray matter, had to get re-kickstarted again. So got a lot of things coming up. Some things are going to be releasing. I actually planned with a young lady named Lisa Najjar today. Wait, what? I was in a TikTok hole. Yeah. It was one of those things that, but I've got a coordinated tarot class coming up in August, putting some things together and doing some things again and trying to redo them. And, let's see what's happening. Love when the badass gals get together. Well, why don't you come be a part of that, Deb? Come on in, join them. The water's fine, jump on in. So we're going to be doing some things, some more. Check out, there was pass the word, share the link from the one I did the other night has chapters in it where you can actually click on the chapter, pick a deck. That was fun to do. Took me a while piecing all that together, but that was fun.
Before we go, what is Dynamic Life Perceptions?
Dynamic Life Perspectives. What I'm doing is I'm trying to change. We're going to take dynamic tarot with an attitude. It's no longer just tarot. We're going to be doing news, dudes, and tudes. We're going to be doing the magical unknown. We're going to be doing some fun things, whatnot. But I'm also going to be getting into spiritual guidance and transformational coaching and doing what I do best and what I'm known for and what happens. So the reason I changed it, because it's not just tarot. Okay. Right now, if you want to schedule a session with me, you still have to go to Tarot with an Attitude until I fix that issue. But go there. You can send me a message there or whatnot. But Dynamic Life Perspectives, we're going to be talking with people about mental health issues. We're going to be talking about news, dudes, and tudes. We're going to be spanning it. And what I'm trying to do is turn Tarot with an Attitude into Dynamic Life Perspectives, where it becomes basically a variety. Your one-stop shopping. You want to talk about tarot and spiritual? Go there. You want to talk about news and things that are happening around the world? Come see us here. All in playlists, things like that. You want to see Gillian and Bridget? Come in. You want to see me and Gillian? There we are. And we're going to put some travel shows on with you, things like that, so people can see the deals and know what's going on. But I'm kind of shifting this format, and we're going to be doing more like this in the evenings where people can actually come in. I'll be doing some things in the mornings. I want to be on more. I miss being connected with the tribe, and we were growing. We're still growing, okay? But it just, it's one of those things. So help me get us back on, and we're going to be, flying.
Good.
On
that note, we're going to go ahead and you'll be on tomorrow, you said?
Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. I don't know what time yet. So it might be morning, might be evening, might be both. You know?
So if you haven't already, click subscribe at the bottom. And
make sure you're hitting the little bell. Ring the bell, because that's what gives you the notifications that we're coming on. Yeah, there we go.
My bell.
Ding a ling a ding dong, whatever that was. Okay.
Hey, Rob. Thank you, sir. It's been a blast, man.
Thank you, and everybody. Just remember, if the sun never set, we never see the stars. How do you like that one?
Oh yeah, good. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. All love.